Hello, everyone. Wow. Good evening, Anne-Marie. Good
Good
evening.
evening, Andy.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Andrew.
And good evening, everybody who is in the chat. I've got a feeling this is going to be a bit of a lively one because I've already seen a comment in the chat pretty much on my wavelength. And do you know what? I'm gonna get this comment up first.
Go for it.
Boom! Keith, at least not embarrassing, and I can remember the head losers that we've lost at Anfield by this margin when we were great. I see small green shoots of recovery. I sort of agree with that, Keith. I sort of agree with that.
Just me being a happy clapper.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it proper, obviously. But I thought second half we was marginally better. Would we have took 2-0 before the game started, Anne-Marie?
Yeah. I mean, I had mates of mine that were predicting that we might just do slightly better than the Rags did a few years ago when it was 7-0. And if you'd have said at the start we'll only get beat 2-0 and we'll put up a bit of a fight, I'd have taken it, and that's what I saw today. I thought there are shoots of recovery. Diaz being back, Aki being back.
Hang on, Diaz.
Yeah.
Penalty.
You could blame Walker as much for that as well.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm just saying you could equally blame him as much.
Wow, I'm expecting that, especially so early in the podcast.
All right, and I'm going to blame him for the first goal.
Why not blaming Kanji?
And Akanji.
You're actually blaming Walker for the second goal?
No, I'm not saying I am. I said, but he was equally as much to blame as Diaz was.
What about the keeper?
Oh, man alive. No. By the way, I thought Ortega should have possibly got the first one. But he made some great saves. And was the starting lineup, Paddy, was it a bit of a surprise to you? Especially with Edison dropping to the bench and KDB not starting?
People need to get through their minds that Kevin De Bruyne is not fit. Like, do they want Pep to get a box of crayons and draw it for them so they can finally understand it? Kevin De Bruyne is not fit. Pep is blue in the face from saying it. Why aren't people listening?
Okay then. So why has he been training for 6 weeks and been available for 4 weeks then?
Well, last Friday was the first time he trained and he was pain-free. So you can train all you want, but it doesn't mean that you're match fit. He's not match fit. Pep has said it in every press conference, no on demand. He is not fit. So
I'm gonna sound like some sort of deluded happy clapper here. Listen, until it's mathematically possible, I don't believe the title's gone. What we'll say is we don't look right. And I tweeted somebody earlier and who was having a bit of a pop at me. And I'll just go over what I've right. In an ideal world, I can't find it now. So right, if that squad, I know it's like if me auntie had testicles, it'd be my uncle kind of thing, but a fully fit squad, and I'm not blaming injuries for everything because it's quite clear that there's out of form players and stuff like that. If the minute the transfer window closed, I'm sure most people would have had Edison in goal. They would have had Gvardiol or Ake at left back, Diaz, Stones, Akanji, Walker, you'd have thought, you know, something defensively, that's not bad. Then midfield gone right. So we've got Rodri, we've got Gundogan, who was the second coming, by the way, by 99.9% of the fans. Let's not forget that. Yeah, and to top it up with Foden, KDB, Kovacic, Nunes, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Doku, who I thought changed our fortunes when he came on today. Doku, I thought he was very, very good. Savio, Haaland, and I'm sure Oscar Bob. I'm sure would have all thought that's a tasty old squad. That
it is.
For whatever reason, we've not seen it. Listen, there's no better person to fix this than Pep. Without a shadow of a doubt. Listen, I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm not saying we're not going to win the league. At this moment in time, we just need to win a match. Not focus on winning the league. We just need to win a match. Now we'll be going to the Etihad on Wednesday evening. Stan, we'll be going to the Etihad on Wednesday, thinking, thank God we're playing Notts Forest. Now, is it the Notts Forest what went to Anfield and beat them at Anfield? Listen, at this moment in time, a win is going to be a win. That's all I'm. It's an old cliche, not an old Dale cliche. But you're all right there, Stan. No, I know it's a cliche about just looking at the next match. That's how we can do at the moment. Isn't it, Stan?
No, mate, you all right?
Yeah, did you get my question?
No, mate.
No, there's some feedback coming from somewhere.
It's good to see we've got Chris Kamara live at wherever it was. Can you hear us, Stan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There's been a sending off, Jeff. There's been a sending off.
There's desperate feedback on
Can you
Let me see if it's Stan.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Stan.
Stan, you've got feedback coming on your thing, mate. Yeah, it's your mic somewhere. Let me put you on mute while we carry on, mate, until you sorted it. So yeah, it's. You agree, Anne-Marie? It's one game at a time.
Yeah, and it has to be, and that's one of the things, you know, the team has said all along. It's one game at a time, and you know, Notts Forest isn't going to be an easy game for us on Wednesday because they're not playing bad. They're in the best position they've been in years, and we'll have to work hard to get something on Wednesday.
We're going to have to do something more than bloody work hard, Paddy, because it's a free hit for Forest, isn't it?
Well, it's a free hit for most teams when they come against us, isn't it? Everybody, like Spurs beat us 4-0 at home. They couldn't beat 10-man Fulham at home today at their own ground. So everybody raises their game against us. The team are going through a bad patch. Confidence was low. Like they've been running on high octane fuel for the last 4 years, hence the success we've had. Are they going to have a season off and rebuild and go again? I'm easy with that. It's like that's not going to put me up or down, you know. I don't think that team or that club owes me anything over the last 10 or 11 years. But there is people out there that are obviously not happy. They're entitled to their own opinion. But if you think players are going to turn up and turn up and turn up, even the Man Uniteds of years ago, they were competing with Arsenal. It was ding-dong, league here, league there. Nobody's ever done 4 in a row. Surprisingly enough, we did it. You know, look, it is what it is, as the kids say. And as long as we finish in the top 4 and we get to go again next year with a few additions, I'm happy with that. But I'm not going to give the league up on the 1st of December. Not a hope.
Stan, what's your
Yes, mate.
I think Kathy's bang on there, to be honest. Kathy said it was 1-0. It was 1-0 till the pen. We might have got lucky for an equaliser. That's how I look at it. Should have had Grealish on from the start. I absolutely agree with that because Grealish, God bless his little cotton socks, he gives us control. However, what I will say is when Doku come on, listen, I'm not a massive Doku he plays for us. Stan, you've got some really bad feedback there, mate. Your microphone's bobbins there, mate. I thought Doku was really, really good, Anne-Marie, when he came on. You know, he had purpose. He had purpose to his game, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. And you know, it's easy to target, and I've seen it in the group tonight. It's easy to target Doku for his final ball, which yes, does leave something to be desired. But I would say the same for Savino as well. He doesn't get a decent final ball in either. And we need to work on that because we've got people in the box, but we're just not picking them out. I just, it's like the other night, how do we go from being 3-0 up and make a couple of substitutions and fall apart? I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, Emerson was to blame for one of them.
Paddy, I will say one thing today. I believe, and as you know, I'm not a massive Doku fan, as I keep saying. However, I believe only for Doku coming on today, I think we could have been in the second half conceded a few more goals. I thought he pushed them back quite a lot, and I thought although we was a bit lackluster up front, I thought what Doku did today when he came on, he pushed them that far back. And it stopped them coming on the attack a lot against us.
Yeah, but even go back to your point there, Emery, about final ball. Whose final ball is good in our team? Because Pep doesn't allow it. The only one with permission to cross that ball into that box is Kevin De Bruyne. You never see Grealish do it. You never see Doku do it. You never see Savino do it. You never see Oscar Bob do it. Nobody does it. Nobody whoops a ball in. So whose ball is good? We don't play that type of football.
Stan, before you come, mate, I just said we just need to win one game. Forget about the title. I'm not saying the title's over when I say forget about the title. It's just about we just need to focus. The old adage in it, we just need to win one game to start getting us going again.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think one of the things today, there's a couple of takeaways. They're not solid takeaways, but I've seen better City teams go there and put in a worse performance and get beat. I said at half time, we were only one down. Liverpool must have been thinking, if we don't put these to the sword, they will get one. And we were better for the first half of the second half. If it was one had gone in, it's 1-1. They would have got nervous because they're thinking we had this game boxed off. It's really tight lines, and at the moment those little things aren't dropping our way. Does that mean that we've been unlucky or we don't have a lot of work to do? Well, we've not been that unlucky, but we do have a lot of work to do. You just got to get your head down, and like you say, if you can get that first game won under the belt. Don't, like Paddy said, don't worry about the league. Just get another one and then another one. And then just build back up to, see how far you can go. And come January, if we make a couple of signings and some of them players are back and they've had a few games under the belt, let's see where it goes. Because if we start putting the run together in February, March and April, teams will crack. It'll be another one of them. I don't believe it. I thought they were dead. They're like zombies. They've just come back. Can't kill them.
It is like that, isn't it?
Just like it happened with United. They weren't always at the top all the way through the season. But when they started putting them runs together at the end of the season with Ferguson, team started going, oh, God, here we go again.
Stan, we can't keep doing that, mate. And it's quite...
No.
Listen, you don't have to
Well,
be Steve
if he
Wonder
doesn't...
or Ray Charles to understand that there is problems there. I
Yeah.
cannot, for one reason or another, we all have our ideas, why there's problems there, but it's just speculation, which I'm not even going to speculate because it's unfair, because if my speculation's wrong, you know what I mean, that just puts panic into other people who think that I know stuff when I know absolutely nothing. I'm just a fan like everybody else who has an opinion. But I just think
we've been here with you for over a year, Andy. We know you know nothing. Nobody's going to be worried if you get something wrong.
I think as well, one of the things we forget is we look at our team, and we have, realistically and honestly, we have the most fantastic team. There's no disputing that. When they're on form, they're on form, and we're unstoppable. But what we're forgetting is that we've had 4 years of constant success.
Yeah.
And in that time, have any of our players had a real summer break where they've had 6, 7, 8 weeks where they haven't kicked a football, be it for club, country, or whatever? And they've not had, like some of these others, they've not had a full break. And that's going to be compounded even more this season with this World Club Cup, whatever the hell it is, tournament in June. Our players are not getting a break. No wonder we're getting these niggly injuries that are hanging around.
It's not just our club, though, Anne-Marie. We can't use that as an excuse as such, can we?
Well, I think to some extent, I think we can, Andy, because you look at some of the games that the players are playing, and even with the internationals, you look at if we look at Waistcoat, and there are times last season where he picked Stones for 2 consecutive games, which was absolutely stupid, and ended up costing us because he got injured. And
with things like internationals, if a player isn't injured, they have to. It's not up to Pep or the club to go, oh, you don't have to go. They have to go and be assessed by the national medical team.
But I'm sure at some point there should be a discussion to say, look, this player's on and off with injuries. The club need to keep him fit for the end of this season for the run-in. Can we please not play him in both games?
In a fluffy world, Anne-Marie, we all want that. But
it has been done in the past, Andy.
But it doesn't matter. Stan, I'm a talking bubbles here. The players have to go. Listen, as much as we want Erling Haaland or KDB not to go to their national teams for a pointless friendly, you try saying that to all the Norwegians or all the Belgians, they'll go, don't give a shiny shit about City.
But then you look at the other year when we did the treble, and early the World Cup was in the middle of the season, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And who didn't go? And who didn't go and had a complete break? Haaland. So he's had something that the likes of De Bruyne, the likes of Foden haven't had. And that's what I'm saying. We get to a point where these fellas do need a break.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Anne-Marie. I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm saying is, if I was Norwegian or Belgian, I'd say, Anne-Marie, you're talking out your ass because I want them star players playing for my national team.
And that's
you can't.
But we're in a position where, at the end of the day, this club over country malarkey, the likes of Harry Kane coming out at the last international, slagging these players off for not turning up.
He got dropped for it. He got dropped for it, and
so he should. Yeah, and so we should. But at the end of the day, who pays the players' wages?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. And again, I'm not. It sounds like I'm disagreeing with you, Anne-Marie, and I'm genuinely not. I 100% agree with you. But by the laws, them players have to go away. If Pep or anybody turns around and says, "Oh, he's got a bit of a niggle. Is he all right staying there? They've got to go and be assessed by the national team's medical team.
But then we're screwed, aren't we?
That's not just happened this season. That's gone on since.
No, I know it hasn't, Andy.
Even since I was a teenager.
The bottom line of my point is we've had constant success for the last 4 years where these players have pulled it out of the hat time and time again. And at some point, something's going to give. And you saw it at the start of this season with the injury to Rodri.
Mm-hmm.
And they need a break. They need... they need the good 6 weeks at least break, and none of them have had that lately.
Can I say something that'll cheer everybody up?
Go on.
Nobody has noticed this today, but I can guarantee you, Arsenal were willing us to beat Liverpool today, and we didn't beat them. So they've gone 9 points clear of Arsenal. They've gone 11 points clear of us. Wouldn't it be funny if Slav comes in his first season and wins the league while Mr. Arteta hasn't won an A Cup in 4 or 5 years?
I don't get how that's going to cheer me up.
It will cheer me. It will shut the Arsenal fans up.
No, I get what you mean, mate. I'm only joking. No, you're right. But at this moment in time, my concern is just winning the next game, because beating Forest on Wednesday is not guaranteed. It really isn't. Should we beat them on paper? Yeah, we should have beat some of the other teams on paper. But take away today, right? Take away today. In midweek, just gone 3-0. We looked all right. 3-0. We looked all right against Spurs. We looked all right until we conceded the first goal, and we still had chances after that. For me, the magical key is KDB, and I don't mean to rhyme like that. I just feel we just need to get players back, because, although Diaz did drop a bollock for the second goal, I don't give a shiny shit if anyone says Walker should have done better. We shouldn't have even put Walker in that position in that part of the pitch. I thought Diaz was all right today. Forget that, it's another player back. It's another experienced player back where, he did a big speech, didn't he, yesterday and stuff like that, and rightly so. Maybe we need that from a few other players. Haaland's getting a roasting for not putting the ball away. How was he supposed to put the ball away today? How was he supposed to get involved in that game today? It's not happening, Stan, is it?
No. We haven't got the piano shifters to get the ball to the piano players. Believe it or not, we have missed Kovacic. He's one that'll dig in and have a goal. I thought we were better with Diaz. I tell you what, that would not have been. I mean, I know he played his part in that second goal, but when they put all that pressure on early on and he scored, was after 15 minutes. If he hadn't been on the pitch, we would have capitulated. I tell you that now. But he got them organised, and we did limp to 1-0 at half time. No one's going to disagree with that. But we got there.
After the start, mate, I was delighted with 1-0.
Yeah, but then again, it's Liverpool, and probably on form the best team in the world, and you're going to expect what we got. They're going to attack you. They're going to fight you. And
like Keith said earlier, I think it was the first comment we put up. When we've won the league and we've been flying, we've been playing sort of like, dare I say it, Liverpool, Arsenal type football where we've been blowing teams away. We always come unstuck at Anfield, apart from COVID times, but that don't count anyway. Anyway, title. Only joking. But we normally get a good shoe in there anyway. So is there anybody on the panel? Is anybody in the chat what actually thought we was going to win today? Or did they actually?
I must admit, I did laugh. I thought that penalty. It was a penalty. No, you can't say it wasn't a penalty. But the thing was, it was a really good fishing expedition. He's kept his foot low. He's seen him come in. He's kept his foot low and he's gone over. A few years ago, it would have been like, oh, well, there you are. At least they've got the penalty because at 1-0, you were always in chance. That killed the game off, and then, Liverpool could do all the subs and they could do all the messing around. But if you go back a couple on those at the bottom, somebody was saying that, over the last few years, it backs up what Anne-Marie had said, and it's backing up what everyone's saying. If you go back over the last 4 years, we've played 30% more minutes than. There you go, Keith Hopkinson. Sorry, Keith, I couldn't remember your name. I can't remember Gavardio's name, but things like that over 4 seasons. If you are playing that amount of time extra, it's going to add up. It's going to take it, And Rodri was alluding to that at the start of the season. And people say, oh, well, it's all right saying that. And this is what happens when you're at the top. Well, yeah, it is what happens when you're at the top. So don't expect to think that you can win the title forever. You won't. We've already extended the, we've already surpassed all expectations. So
I agree.
Is it the natural time? Is it our natural time now to not be winning things for the season? Yes, it might be. Everyone else is allowed to have a rebuild. Can we not have one? Yeah.
What's your spin? And again, the guys in the chat, it's your forum to have your say. I keep seeing and hearing on social media that we can't take, it's quite evident we need to buy in January, without a shadow of a doubt. Listen, people say, it's not a good time for buying. Bullshit. The money talks. If you go and offer a club some money, they will sell, especially if they're not in the Champions League but they're a good player. What I will say, I've seen people, but how can you drop Rodri out the squad because he might be back for the last couple of games? I don't give a shiny shit. I don't want Rodri anywhere near our team till next season, till Rodri is right. I don't care if he's back for 2 or 3 games for the Club World Cup. Couldn't give a shiny shit about the Club World Cup, in all honesty. I just want Rodri to get himself fully fit rather than say, I'm going to be back for the back end of the season. Oh, yeah, but we've got Oscar Bob coming back in January. How do we know what Oscar Bob's going to be like when he comes back? Oscar Bob might take longer to recover than we all think. But Oscar Bob, let's not forget, he wasn't a world beater before he sadly broke his leg. We're pinning hopes on players like, we can't bring somebody in because we've got Oscar Bob, we've got Rodri, We've got Wilson Esbrand who can go out of the squad. Are you telling me you'd rather keep Wilson Esbrand in the squad than go out and get, say, another player, be it a top quality English player or not? There's players out there, experienced players, what you can bring in to shore it up a little bit at the time when we do. And then I've heard
that's the thing, Andy, that people think when Rodri comes back, he's going to pick up where he left off.
Not a chance.
There's no guarantees with that. He mightn't be the same player when he comes back because that was a fairly serious injury he had. The chances
are, Paddy, he'll come back from that injury and he'll end up getting an hamstring or something like that. Because players, again, historical view on players, not just City players, when they've been out with an ACL or a long-term injury, they come back, they play a game or something, and they end up dropping out for a few weeks with a different injury because it's the pace of the game and stuff like that. Just let me carry on just slightly with what I was saying about gone with the flow now. I forgot what I was saying now. See, you caught me in mid-flow. Oh yeah. Sorry. So then people, and I've seen and heard people say, "Oh yeah, well, what's it going to be like when Rodri's back and if we bring some top line players in January?" I don't give a shit. Whoever's performing the best. If somebody's performing better than Rodri, if someone's performing better than Oscar Bob, it's good for our team because we will have somebody playing at the peak of their game, keeping a bloody good player on the bench. That's what I want to see.
When's our new director of football being installed?
January.
So
I thought it was the start of next season, Andy.
He's
no,
been integrated in January, I believe.
so is your man Tiki going to be there in January? And
He's going to be shadowing Cheeky from January, I believe.
right. So surely they have some targets identified for January.
I would like to think so, but everyone's putting it on Cheeky as if it's Cheeky who's got the purse strings tight. Depending on who you listen to, Pep's actually knocked some players back who Cheeky's recommended. We can get this player. That's the beauty of the partnership. I'm not blaming Cheeky. I'm not blaming Pep. What I'm saying is, yes, we want all these players and that coming in, but also we're running a business as well. Where would you go out and buy a Bruno from Newcastle for over 100 million? I wouldn't. We pulled away from Declan Rice for 105 million. I see that as sensible, but then people will say, yeah, but it just shows you now that we didn't have the backup. Who knows what's going? I don't know if I'm going to win the lottery next week. I don't know if I'm going to be dead next week. So
yeah, but Andy, as you said at the start of the show, when you listed out all the team that was available at the start of the season, and going into the start off the new season, we didn't need any players. Yeah, you can turn around and say, "Oh, we didn't sign cover for Rodri," but we had Kovacic and we had Gundogan. So when we were 2 or 3-0 up, Rodri could come off and have a rest, and Gundo and Kovacic could have seen out the game. But you're 100% right. We started off the season, we had all the players available. We didn't need anyone else. Now circumstances are dictating that we do need other people, and
hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody's a crystal ball. Nobody can see into the future. But I'm going to see into the future. Now we're going to beat Forest 3-0 next week.
I'd settle for 1-0 own goal, mate, as long as it's a win. It's just so important just to get a win on, a win under the belt. It's like, I'm not digging Akanji out. I thought Akanji was appalling today. The worst game I think I've seen him play for us. However, on the flip side of that, what a brilliant player, apart from today, Akanji's been for us, is for us. So it's the way the team are playing at the moment. And for me, that's not like Akanji's shit. Akanji's a little bit out of form. His confidence is low a little bit. That's not the Akanji we normally see, because everybody wants Akanji in ahead of Walker. And hang on. I thought Walker was better. It's a funny old game. Isn't it?
You have an echo, Andy.
Nobody's laughing at the moment, Andy. No, with you, football's a funny old. With you saying that football's a funny old game, nobody's laughing at the moment. But it's, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know what people want. If you've got key players out, injured, coming back from injury, what are you going to do? I mean, we've always conjured things up because we've had the players there to conjure it up. The problem with going in January is everyone knows we're going to be desperate, so you can bung on another 30, 40 million. And with, whatever it's called, do we want to be spending over the odds for somebody that might stop us getting a couple of players in summer because you can't spend more than what you did? They're the problems.
Again, with Crystal Ball, whoever we bring in January, they might not be the target for the summer. Who's to say that absolutely flourish for us in January and we don't need somebody in the summer? We don't know, do we? That's the facts.
You've muted me, mate. That's why I can't answer.
I didn't,
because
mate.
We're getting really bad feedback off you, Stan.
Right. I don't know why that is.
Mm-hmm. So it was
I've not done anything.
But
I've not done anything.
There is positives to be had on today. Yeah, the first half was shocking. We could have been 4 or 5-0 down. But we came into that game in the second half up until the penalty. The people want to blame Walker. It wasn't Walker's fault. The start of the car crash was Diaz. That's like saying when 3 cars run in the back of each other, who's at fault? The fellow at the front, the keeper, or Walker, or Diaz. The last car normally gets the blame. And it was Diaz who tried that fancy flick and it didn't come off. But up to that point, I thought we were coming into that game. We were controlled the game. We got a bit of possession back. Yes, we were shocking in the first, I suppose, first 35 minutes. It was diabolical. It was like headless chickens. Nobody knew what they were doing. The Gundogan couldn't hold on the ball. Lewis couldn't hold on to the ball. Akanji couldn't hold on to the ball. It was just absolutely shocking. But the second half, yeah, we picked it up a bit, and we were starting to have a go at Liverpool. Liverpool were starting to get worried until they got that penalty, but we were definitely in that game up until that penalty. Absolutely.
Alex says Rodri is our trigger. I hope he's not our trigger out of Only Fools and Horses, mate. Jesus, that's all we need.
Dave.
MP says Gundo and Lewis in midfield for fuck's sake. No. Yeah, when I saw that, I really thought today would have been a day where KDB starts. But now I think there's something more than just a fitness issue with KDB. I can't put my finger on it, and I don't wish to speculate, but that's just...
KDB is temperamental. Like he's a bit of a huffer, you know. But like Pep has to go by what the medical team is telling him, and he's not fit, so he's not starting and he's not playing. He's only getting 10-15 minutes a game because that's what the medical team are telling Pep.
Cathy, spot on, absolutely, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about. I'm not saying Oscar, as quite rightly you say there, Cathy. That's what I was saying, because it's a mental thing. You know, the first challenge will it be psychological with him and stuff like that. We don't know. Will because he must be building one leg up. You know, so one leg will have more strength than the other. So when he comes back, will he be, you know? Will he be prone to a hamstring or something like that because he'll be overcompensate? We don't know. Yes, they've got the best physios and stuff like that in the world. However, the human beings at the end of the day, and that's exactly what you say. Mentally, will he get over it?
But they're on 500 grand a week.
Yeah, it always makes for that. Alex says, "Was Ortega in a mistake?" I did anybody think? Listen, I thought Ortega was very, very good for us today. Do you think? Does anybody think? Anne-Marie, do you think it could have done better for their first goal?
I don't think he could have done better for the first goal. And really, I don't really find fault with him at all. The only issue I see is that his distribution isn't always as good as Edison's. That's my only.
Martin, don't say that, Martin. Martin, don't say that. I've got no word as it is. Blue Art says a lot of injuries happen after a really bad knee injury because the player is over. Exactly what I've just been saying, mate. Because the player is overprotective of that particular knee, and again, so there is scope for. I can't see us going stupidly buying. I think. 2 players will. I don't know how many you think, and the guys in the chat. I think we'll buy two, and it won't be 2 players with a view to sort of like fight him to get in the team. I think Pep will buy 2. What will come straight into the team, if I'm being totally honest.
Here's the thing that Anne-Marie was saying there about the distribution of Ortega. You have 2 goalkeepers. One is very good at distribution, not so good with all saves and positional play, where Ortega is very good at positional play and saves, but not too good at the distribution. How often does Edison get a chance to display that distribution against the low block teams who play against us all the time? I'd rather have a keeper in the net who can actually save rather than somebody who can kick a ball 80 yards to Hallam Street.
I will say one thing, Stan. Today, I was glad that Ortega was hitting the ball long rather than us piss around with it in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, especially with the low confidence of the defence. We didn't really want the ball dwelling around there. If you're going to knock the ball around, at least knock it around in their half. I can see that. Also, it gave you a chance maybe to get a few balls through for Haaland to run onto, which is one of his strengths and something Paddy's been advocating for, well, ever since he come here. Not Paddy, Haaland. So,
I've been here since 2009, Stan.
it's what?
I've been here since 2009.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. I think Edison did need a bit of a break. He's, he does get a bit of flack from the crowd sometimes as well, and he does go walkabout. Maybe the more disciplined approach of Ortega
I did shit myself.
made a difference.
I think it was in the first half where Ortega comes flying out and heads the ball. I thought, here we go. Paddy will be pulling his hair out.
No, I think that way you're doing things is just coached throughout the club, because Kiara Keating does something similar now and again, doesn't she, Anne-Marie?
She does, yeah.
Give Keating.
And she made a high-profile error against Arsenal last year or the year before?
Last year.
It's and yet they made some great saves.
Anne-Marie, Keith's on fire tonight. Do you want to read that one out?
Certainly is. Confidence can be more important than skill in football. My worry was that confidence was spiralling down. It's not great, but I didn't see it get worse today. And he's spot on.
I didn't see it get worse.
No, he's absolutely spot on in what he says there, Keith.
Listen, the happy clapper in me, because I keep getting accused of it, is, if anything, the second half in particular, when Doku, and you're surprised at this, Anne-Marie, because I'm giving Doku loads of praise, but I'm fair. I'm fair and consistent. I'd go as far to saying I could see it getting better when Doku came on today. It gave us a bit more purpose.
It did. And I think it was the right decision in some ways not to start him, but to bring him on as a sub, because both him and Savinho don't necessarily do the defensive job. And we needed to be fairly solid up till half time and still be in the game. And that's why I think it was the right decision. And we did, I know the first 10, 15 minutes we looked like we were going to get absolutely battered. Mm-hmm. But once we got back, once we kind of calmed everything down and got into the game, we did look more solid. And there are, like Keith said at the start of the show, there are shoots of optimism, and we need to hang on to them, because otherwise, you can be like some of our fellow supporters and get carried away with the doom and gloom, and that it's just not my way, because as bad as we might be at the minute, and we're not bad, we're just not getting the rub of the green, so to speak.
No, let's call it. No, we're bad at the moment. There's no hiding from that. It's not a case of rubber to green. A rubber to green is a 50-50 ball don't go your way, or a referee decision doesn't go your way. That a rubber to green isn't when you've got the likes of, say,
I know, but I don't really want to get into the position of saying we're rubbish at the minute, because but the reality is, compared to what we've seen in the past, this is not rubbish. This isn't rubbish.
Forget the past.
No, but we can't forget the past, because this isn't rubbish. Because if you look at the way we play, we're still playing at times some really good football. And, for whatever reason, things aren't gelling, whether it's the attack, because we're not playing the quick balls into Haaland. It's the midfield because it isn't strong enough with Gundo and Lewis in there. Defensively, we've got, because we're not playing with the same back four week in, week out. We've got no continuity in there. And for me, I'd rather kind of look at it in a positive way and say, yeah, there are things that aren't quite right at the minute, but it's still nowhere near as bad as we have been. Think about think about going back a few years under Stuart Pearce. Half a season without seeing a goal at home.
Right, I tell you what, we'll start doing an oldie fogey stream. Forget that far back, Anne-Marie. We've got what we're seeing now is not City like. However, and this is where I get some of the younger fans where they get frustrated with the likes of us of a certain generation, where they go, where we call them for listen, you don't know what it's like to be shit. They don't know what it's like to be shit. So they want to see decent football, successful football. We've got more patience of a certain age. Well, most of us have, because we've seen that we've got the benefit of.
And like we always say, Andy, it's about opinions, and that was just my opinion.
Yeah, but you can't go that far back, Anne-Marie. Jesus.
But it's not. But you're saying not go that far back.
I can't even remember that far.
Going back 2009 isn't going that far back.
But when was Stuart Pearce manager?
Stuart Pearce was manager was it the first? It was after Keegan left, so it was probably the first season in the Etihad. Can't quite remember.
Right, so we're going back to about 2005 then, yeah?
19
but in
years.
the grand scheme of things, that's not going that far back.
19 years ago, Andy, here.
I didn't, mate. I started losing my hair. I started losing my hair, right?
When you popped out?
On the third, and I even remember it, the 31st of August, 1996, the day I got married.
easy though, she doesn't watch this.
Seriously though, I sort of get what you're saying, Anne-Marie, but listen, this is where I have to back the younger fans up, because us going, we remember the Main Road days and we remember Bert Troutman, and most of them, they respect our history because the City fans, probably from their parents and stuff, but they don't give a shiny shit now, and I can understand why not.
I know, but at the same time, Andy, I'm sat in a position where I know I've got no God-given right to expect City to turn up and win every game.
No,
yeah, but Anne-Marie, all you have is a greater tolerance level. That's all you have, and that's based on your history with the club. Like, you get young guys who've been there since, say, the last 15 years. They've known very little unhappiness. It's mainly success they have known. So they have nothing to compare and contrast. This is the first kind of bad patch they've gone through as such, So you can't fault them,
No, I'm not faulting them at all, Paddy. But what I'm saying is, they can have their opinion about how bad it is and how this player and that player and the other player should be dropped or should be sold or whatever. And all I'm saying is, from my point of view, it isn't that bad.
It's bad by our standards. It's
by our
very
standards.
bad.
But we're still sat at 5th in the league and, still in 3 competitions. So I'm not looking at complaining too much, because be careful what you wish for.
Okay, when would you consider it a crisis then?
I'd consider it a crisis if we don't. Well, let me see. We've got Forest this week, Crystal Palace on Saturday, and then we've got Juventus in midweek, haven't we? Before United. So I'd like to see us win at least one of those 3 games. If not,
yeah, crisis. What crisis?
Is that it?
Crisis is running out of pies at half time.
Well, there is that. But
Interesting.
can you see what I'm saying about like some of the younger fans? That we've got the benefit of.
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, and it's a fair point.
But
Yeah,
but fans of a certain age, sometimes me included, we have a go at the younger ones saying you don't know you're born, seeing as they don't know they're bloody born. However, they don't know anything different. A bit like Rags at the moment of a certain age, they can't remember them being good. It's totally the opposite.
No, you're right. And at the end of the day, they've got a fair point that, if you expect to a certain level, that's all right. Do you know what you do, Andy? You just agree to disagree and move on and carry on supporting the club. It's not an end-game situation where we have to fall out and have a row and it all gets decided with a punch-up in the car park. It's,
doing a right
if you're annoyed, fair enough. But at the end of the day, as you get older, it's not just that anyway. Not a single thing that anyone knows us writes or says will affect anything. If you win, your wages don't go up. If we lose, our wages don't go down. We didn't get a pay rise when we won the league. We all realise that at the end of the day, who and what we watch. And it's there. But when you're young and you've got that passion, sorry, Anne-Marie.
I'm just looking at that comment there.
Okay, let's discuss that comment then.
Well, I mean, that's
let's discuss it. The whole team needs selling. So, would you sell Ortega, Edison? Would you sell Haaland? Would you sell Rodri? Would you sell Grealish, De Bruyne, Doku? Would you sell Gvardiol? Would you sell Ake? Bit OTT that, in my opinion.
Geez, I remember a friend of our show, I won't name him, but he likes to leave early, says that at the start of the season, 8 or 9 needs to be sold.
Oh, we've had this every year for the last 5 years. I mean, I remember us, we lost, don't even think we lost, I think we drew at Newcastle and somebody came on and had the dicky fit. So the entire club needs rebuilding, right? Including the senior management, the lot. And then we went on and won the quad.
I've just seen.
This is why fans should be nowhere near the levers of the club. We're too emotional.
Elliot's just sent me a message, a quote from Pep, and I actually thought when I see, I don't know if you was the same. When Doku and Savinho came on, I thought Jack won't get on today, and I was surprised to see Jack come on in midfield. And there's a quote from I'll read it out from Pep after the game. Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola. I'm thinking Jack Grealish in the middle can help us to have that control and vision into the final third. I agree with that. We've been crying out for that, haven't we? And it seems like Pep's willing to try anything now.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Isn't that what he did at Villa? Well, he sat more central when he was at Villa.
Is Pep watching our pubcasts? Because we've been saying this for a while, haven't we?
Jack Grealish did what he wanted at Villa. He's on record of saying that. And it's only when he came to City, Pep defined his role, and he wasn't to leave that sideline. So he will. That would be a bad choice. Jesus Christ!
Apologies, Andrew. I stole your thunder there, mate. Sorry. Yeah. Does anybody think that'd be a good
Absolutely.
idea? I do.
100%.
Yeah.
I didn't break.
I'm just disappointed. There's a banner going across the bottom on Sky here now, and it's just saying that it's looking like Andy Savage will be sacked in the morning.
Yeah, that Jack Grealish in the centre of that midfield would work. So you'd have, say, Doku, the Grealish. I'd like to say Kevin De Bruyne, but he's not fit. And then Savinho down the other side. I think Grealish will give you a bit more steel in the midfield compared to Lewis. I think Lewis is getting overrun in the midfield.
I thought Lewis was all right today, apart from...
he was not.
No, hear me out. Bloody Waldorf and Statler. He was all right when he got the ball until he passed the ball. I thought his ball control and winning the ball was okay until he got it. And he
has to do something with it. He loses the ball too easily, Andy.
Or is he another player, Anne-Marie, who plays on the right?
No, she's right, Andy. He loses the ball. He's a disaster, man. You won't get the ball off Jack Grealish.
No, and I agree. We've been talking about it for God knows how long, haven't we? If Pep's willing to do that, I'm all for that one. Absolutely.
It wouldn't be hard for Jack Grealish to change position because he changed country there a few years ago.
I've always been a number 2, me, Steve. Set that out. Blue Art, Pep won't make excuses, but he will look harder than most for answers. If that's the new play, if that's new players, I think Pep is ruthless and he will do what is required. I do, he will. I had a bit of a Twitter doodah, not a doodah, that's probably the wrong word. A debate with somebody on Twitter earlier on, and they're going on like the players are just fading out. They don't give a shit. No, them players will be hurting. They are champions. They're winners. They won't want to go out with a whimper. Not a chance.
No, so you get that when you watch the documentaries. You see what it means to them. You can see it's etched in their faces. Like even if you never watch the documentary, like if you can read body language, they are pissed off.
Elfie Tip says the performances are getting worse. I would say the performances have not been great, but I thought, again, I'll cite it, when Doku came on, we looked a little bit better. We looked a bit more balanced. And I
think Elfie Tip's just a wind-up merchant.
He's not.
Yeah.
What did you say before? You're entitled to your opinion. Healthy tips.
Indeed, you are. But when you start off by saying we need to sell the whole team because they're shite, I think it's a fairly safe bet.
But it's his or her opinion, nevertheless. Martin says, "Can we sign a bricklayer in January to brick up our goal, please?" I tell you what, we could do with something. Again, Would you start with Ortega the next match, Paddy?
We probably end up with Roger Hughes to build a wall.
Would you look?
You can't say that, Paddy, because some of our fans aren't old enough to know who Roger Hughes is.
Oh, come on. So, okay then. So on next week's show, Anne-Marie is going to be talking about
golden oldies.
Why is I don't know, Bert Troutman not playing next week? That's how far back.
Because he's dead, Andy.
Obviously, but
bloody hell! Why are you going to let something like being dead get in the way? I mean, he didn't. I think he fell apart. To be honest, Pep. Because what was it last week? He should have brought on John Macken. Now he doesn't pick Bert Troutman. The fella's lost it.
He'd probably do a better job about the Shores on that pitch at the minute.
Ahmed says, guys, look at FC Barcelona. They use their youngsters. Why is a 6'2" O'Reilly on the bench? And right, he was a physical DM. It's going to be another Palmer again. I would say, imagine bringing them in and their confidence. They can have worldies and flourish, or the current situation we're in, it could actually demoralise them, couldn't it? So there's no right or wrong, I suppose.
No, but he has a point.
No, of course he does. Yeah, of course he does.
But going back to your original question, Andy, does Ortega start next week? It depends who's performing in training. Like, for me, I don't care about distribution, this, that, fancy tricks around the box. Your job, as Roy Keane would say, is to save the ball in the net. If you can't do that, and there's somebody behind you that can do that, well, you're out. Simple that. You just have to take the emotion out of it and look at it cold, hard facts. Is he better in nets?
I don't agree, mate. I don't agree. It's not like a midfielder in training against another midfielder. It's a goalkeeper. There's a specialised position, mate. That is one area of the field where you've got to give somebody a decent run. If you start Edison next game and then Ortega the game after, that's no good in that position. Do you agree? Disagree, Stan?
Yes and no.
Is that like you don't know them?
Give me a minute to think about it. Ask Paddy.
I've just asked Paddy and Marie. Do you agree?
I think it's a difficult one because we've seen Pep do it. You know, we've seen Pep play Edison at a weekend in the league game, and then come the Champions League game, he's put Ortega in rather than Edison. So, and then the next week, Edison will be back in goal. So I think we've seen Pep do it. And I think it is a case of whoever's performing best on the training pitch is most likely to get the start. And at the minute, I think Ortega will start the game on Wednesday night. That's my thoughts.
And
I think he deserves to start on Wednesday if I'm being totally honest.
I'd play Ortega.
Position, Andy. The goal, obviously the goal is a fairly specialised position, but there's 10 other specialised positions on that pitch as well. And if they're not playing well, will they get hooked and somebody else goes in?
Good evening, Gordon. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, there's a few what's bricking it. Go on, Stan. Have you had long enough to think about it now?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I'd start Ortega.
Why?
Because I just think at the moment he needs that. We just need that little bit of solid. I'm going to end up coming out with a load of German tropes, and I don't really want to do that. He's more disciplined, isn't he? He's more efficient. He's more. He just brings that little.
Now you're being stereotypical now, Stan.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You know what? No, you know what I'm getting at.
Stan, I think what you're looking for is his more sprung up technique.
He's more efficient.
Well, I didn't see any spring in that dive he did against for the penalty. But it's I just think we need that dour defensive. Let's just get that wall built first and stop conceding. Yeah, and then we can start going forward. That's always the best place to start, isn't it? When you've got a team that needs a bit of form and they need a little bit to build up. Because if you can keep the goals conceded down, you can walk off with the point.
Yeah.
You can score and get beat, but you can't get beat if you don't concede. So let's just get it right down to brass tacks. I think Jack in the middle there, that's a good idea. He might be able to build that platform for Doku and Savino to put into the crosses. But then where are we going to be putting Phil Foden? He could go on either one of them flanks. The thing and all the other thing is as well, when you got so many players out, there's no pressure on anyone to play well anyway, because they know they're starting next week, because the fella's in the injury room. It's just...
Elfie tips, it doesn't matter because you want him sold anyway.
Well, I don't know. Unless you know Edison, I don't know. Will he go? Because he's been number 2 for a few games.
Best luck to him. If he wants to spin his tummy out and go, off you go, lad.
In my opinion, I think Edison will go in January. Not in January, in the summer.
But Alex right there. They are 2 very, very different keepers. So, I mean, Kev De Bruyne could go, couldn't he? If we don't sit down with him and get that contract sorted.
Absolutely, mate, and not just about a contract. It's if you don't get minutes under his belt, possibly. I wouldn't rule January out. Or would Pep allow anyone to go in January with the current situation? I doubt
No.
If he's being toxic around the dressing room, out the gap, get lost.
I can't see De Bruyne being toxic round there, mate. He loves the club too much. You can tell. He's not exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will. But it's a fair shout, Paddy, because we're not in there, are we? We don't know the ins and outs. You don't know what's going on. I don't know. Forest. When do we play Forest? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
I think it's a 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah, Ortega.
If I fall asleep after the show, will someone wake me up after the match on Wednesday?
Yeah.
If not,
I don't know. I might be asleep myself. You never know. It's the joys of following City. You get more time to sleep.
See the older folk in us. We like a bit of this, don't we, Anne-Marie?
Oh, yeah. Adds to the entertainment.
What would you do, Anne-Marie, on Wednesday if Pep comes out with a beanie toy?
I'd laugh. I would laugh.
Hey, don't be doing that, because if Edison goes in January, David James might be the replacement. You just never know, do you?
Well,
always be careful what you wish for.
David James is still on City's books, mate. He's always in the studio. You see Pep when the Liverpool fans were winding him up today, he just goes like
that. Yeah. It's not a bad thing to have in your back pocket, is it?
No. I think Pep has a cunning plan for January. I definitely do.
He's got to, mate. He's got to, because again, who would you drop out of the squad to bring players in?
Anyone that's going to improve the squad. So,
do you agree? Drop Rodri out, and this rubbish about, in my opinion, it's rubbish. Anyway, you might disagree. Where I want Rodri to come back next season rather than rushing back for the last couple of games. Wilson Esbrand, this talk, James McAtee. Listen, we may as well let James McAtee go on loan or something like that, because he's not getting the game time. So that straight away, that frees 3 spots up straight away.
I don't think James McAtee is going to make it at ours.
Pep adores him, no, but he don't play him. I don't know what.
Actions speak louder than words, don't they?
I think so, mate. You know, but is he trying to protect him a little bit, like he did with Foden, like he did with
His next step of protection was not even to name him on the bench.
Yeah, I just. Do you agree though? It's the time to just, not in a happy clapper sort of way. It's time to just get behind the lads and just they really need us at the minute.
100%, Andy.
Because
that now more than anything is our job. Rather than sitting here week in, week out discussing the game, we need to get behind the team, because that is our job as supporters.
I forget who said it in the chat earlier. Like the players were laughing and smiling. Listen, at the end of the day, it's football. You know, we're laughing and smiling now. We're not happy with what's happened. Do you want full time? Do you want the players to go around smacking the opposition and stuff like that, jumping in the crowd 2-footing them? At the end of the day, them players will be hurting, because they're champions. They're really, you know, they will not be going out in a whimper. They will be doing everything they can to get 3 points in the next match, and then all of a sudden, everything in the garden looks a bit rosier.
Yeah, I tell you what though, that's a good shout from Blue Art. Not actually starting Divine Musaka, but he's been good in recently. His form's been fantastic, and that goal he scored yesterday. Oof. Tell you what though, if you listen to the rumour, we might end up with 2 Edisons in January.
Yeah, there is another one rumoured to be coming in, isn't there?
Yeah.
So where where would you focus then if you was Pep? Where would you focus in January if you could only bring 2 players in? Who and what area? As a CDM?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, we definitely need a CDM.
Who?
But you want somebody who's playing in the Premiership.
Why?
Because it takes the foreigners a bit of time to adapt.
So are we looking at Adam Wharton then?
Apparently, we've had people there watching him.
He's been injured quite a lot, hasn't he, Wharton?
At who? Sorry?
Adam Wharton at Palace.
Palace. And it's sort of like tipped up for McAtee to go the other way, be it on loan or a buyback, isn't there?
Yeah. I saw another one now. We've got a 20 million buyback on Delap, haven't we? Maybe Delap, just to give Ireland a bit of help. Cup games and things like that. At 20 million, it's not a bad shout.
He is a good player. Is he a regular number 9? Probably not at the top team, but he would do a job.
And he is scoring goals. Scoring goals, and obviously.
But why would you want to come back and play for a manager who didn't think you was good enough and got rid of you?
I don't think it's always a case of that. But I'm going to sound like Paul Merson here, unfortunately. But it is important to have a striker who can score goals, and Delap can. So why not? I mean, at the beginning of the year, when people were talking about why don't we get a cheap striker and just to back up Ireland, I suggested Chris Wood, who would have been great.
Stan, give us a yarn.
I'm not yarning at you, boring commenting. I can't just yarn, can I? Oh.
But the thing is, and again, like I have done
I'm not a performing monkey. Monkey.
Not a performing monkey. I know that one. But the thing is, Rory Delap wasn't scoring that many goals last season in the Championship.
Yeah, but he is now.
He hasn't for a long time. But Liam's done quite well.
Well done, Stan. That's you putting your place, Baldy.
Maybe you should take a video on for yourself, Andy.
Hang on, I want Stuart Pearce back. And you're calling me Baldy? Oh, well, I tell you what.
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
We missed that fella.
Absolutely, we do.
Like you said,
we have to
be careful what you wish for.
We have missed him, whether we like it or not. We have missed him.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking here. Delap scored 6 goals this year, hasn't he? He's doing all right.
Rory or Liam?
Liam.
I think that's a very good shot, Jack Reeves in midfield. I hope that happens on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. It'd be good to see. Be good to see that, wouldn't it? I'm quite optimistic with that now.
So am I. Actually, that's going to lit a fire inside me. I want to see that bit of steel, and Jack Reeves is that steel.
Right, Alec, you know. Look, mate. We're putting pressure on somebody we've never seen play. Some fair on that lad. Get him in, integrate him. You can't just have somebody coming in and put the pressure and the weight of the world on his shoulders when we're going through a tough time. It's different when we're firing on all cylinders, but let's have a little bit of patience with some of these. But I do love you, Alec. Get Cancelo back. I'd rather walk on. I'd
rather have Tevez.
I'd rather have Anne-Marie up front. As it were.
What? Do you want to rephrase that?
It's that time of the week again, isn't it? monkey. Swiftly moving on. See, I've got the pieces again. They keep calling me Jigsaw. So, listen, it's been a shit few weeks. It's been a shit day. But
but Christmas is coming, so there's always something to look forward to, Andy.
Yeah, the big man will soon be here to empty his sacks on that special day. So we've got a lot to look forward to, haven't we, Paddy?
Well, absolutely.
Something
Plenty of white stuff.
So,
I don't know. So yeah, listen. We always try to have humour and keep it balanced on here. Yeah, we've not all been happy clapping on here tonight. But do you know something? Most important thing is we back them players, because getting on the backs is not going to make 1 ounce of difference. It's not going to make them play better.
No. So who starts in midfield? So on Wednesday night for you, Andy?
Me. I'm quite excited to see Jack if he starts in the centre of midfield. To be fair, mate.
Do you know what I can see happening? He won't start centre of midfield. He'll be arrested Tuesday morning when he's smashed up wings, drunk because he was that happy he's been given a job he wants to do, and he got overexcited. You can see that happening, can't you?
Look at this, Alec. You're a jinx. After your comment, he's injured. But you know something. Douglas Luiz, is he at Juventus, isn't he?
It's not working out. It's not really bad. Going really bad for him.
But
his girlfriend are both having problems there.
Well, they're both at Juve, aren't they? Right. Prediction here.
I can see Anne-Marie's eyebrow raising here when they bring up the subject of Douglas Luiz's girlfriend, because if she followed him over here, you'd have about 15,000 in the Academy Stadium.
I don't know. Who's his girlfriend? Swiftly moving on. So, listen. Thanks. What's this? I'm hoping for Anne-Marie's T-shirt off. Hang on a minute. Start putting... Oh, no. Oh, sorry. There is a comma. I'm hoping for Anne-Marie's T-shirt off.
There may well be a new T-shirt in the next couple of weeks.
Crikey. On that note,
I hope it's not City lost 12 in a row.
No, it won't be.
I think Alex wants 2 in a row, not 4 in a row. But on that note, we will leave it. Listen, guys, in the chat in particular, yeah, the results have not been what we want. However, I hope we give you a bit of a laugh on a Sunday night. Take your mind off a few things. If people are going through a few problems and stuff like that, hope we give you a laugh, a bit of a giggle. Hope you enjoy the show and stuff like that. Thank you, Stan, as always. Thank you, Patrick.
Muchas gracias.
Anne-Marie, always a pleasure, never a chore.
Never a chore, yes, indeed, Andy.
Crikey. No, we'll leave the Greg Wallace bit out, eh? Well, listen, guys, thanks for all taking part, whether it's in the comments, whether you just watched it, had a giggle, putting 2 fingers up to us, whatever. Listen, have a great week. Hopefully, we will be back on track on Wednesday, and we'll have something to cheer about this time next week, won't we?
Let's hope so.
Have a great week, all. Thank you for joining.